everyone, it's Dr. Loyola here. I hope that you are continuing to do well and take care of yourselves in this really disruptive moment, this absolutely tumultuous and chaotic world that we're suddenly thrust into. Um, this is just a short video to touch base with you all, to run through some of the policy changes that I've made for the class, clarify how things are going to run from here on out, and then walk you through our new Moodle site. So this is just to kind of hopefully get everybody on the same page, get you guys feeling a little bit more comfortable about where we're headed for the rest of the semester. So here we go. Okay, so first for policy changes, just to give you a sense of what's coming over the rest of the semester, we will complete your last two prototypes, so one for geolocative narrative and one for augmented reality narrative. But these are going to be with some significant changes. Most immediately, the geolocative narrative will no longer be done through Eris, since we can't actually go anywhere. So instead, this is going to be built through Google Tour Builder, which is a fairly easy to use tool, which will let you kind of build a geolocative based narrative on a model similar to the LA Flood project. So your first kind of assignment for this week is to revisit that project, and you can look for some additional participation work kind of around that to get you thinking about how that works in preparation for those prototypes. Then for the AR unit, that's going to be a 2-week unit instead of 3-week, and we're not going to use Unity. So we're not going to use Unity. I haven't yet decided what we will be using, but that will be, I'll let you all know about that when we get to that point. So in 2 weeks from now, you'll get full information about that final AR unit. Okay, so work will now be done on a weekly basis, where our weekends are Sundays at 11:59 p.m. and weeks begin on Mondays. So this is the asynchronous model where you will work at your own pace over the course of that week. Every time that I post content, it's with the understanding that nothing will be turned in until a week later, but I'll always give you a schedule to kind of help you manage that time, because certainly time management is one of the biggest challenges of moving to an asynchronous and remote model, such as the one that we're doing. Okay, and then a note on our weeks. I don't know if all of your professors are going to Sunday at midnight. That was overwhelmingly the majority vote for our week's end on the survey that I sent around. So that's why we're on that day. We're going to continue on that day for sure through the geolocative unit, but I'll check in with you all at the end of that unit and make sure that that is still a good day. So if after 2 weeks you're kind of feeling like, man, I really wish our work was due on Tuesdays, right, or something really random, you'll have a chance. We can certainly shift that up, right, and kind of move that around. Okay, so since we're not going to be able to meet face-to-face to do in-class sessions, we're going to replace that with the following. First, your gameplay journals are going to be replaced by discussion board posts. So there are no more of those to do. I'm going to turn them off on Moodle so you don't even have the option to accidentally go there. Instead, there will be a public discussion board post, which I'll have you guys do. Again, as kind of our best, almost but not quite, class discussion model. Many of you voted for this as a useful space to work within, so we're going to go on and do that. You will also have readings and playings, just as we've been doing, but now, of course, you are going to be responsible for completing those and doing those kind of on your own time. There won't be a class time for me to walk you through it. But there will be video lectures and small kind of participation assignments that just confirm your understanding of the content and check into the material. So the final thing that I'm still working out is how we're going to do the play testing. And what I would like to do is try and do a virtual exchange in the middle of the kind of building week. So Thursday or even Friday of that week, you'll be responsible for having something ready to test to send to a classmate, and then they will need to send that back to you, of course, in time for you to turn it in to me. We're going to try that with a geolocative unit, but again, if that doesn't work, then the survey at the end of that unit, you can let me know that and we'll change it for the AR unit. Okay, and then the tool tutorials will now be done via video recording. I want to be clear that just recording a PowerPoint and a like webcam video is absolutely fine. We haven't done any work in this class on putting together videos and creating good video work. So don't overthink that unless, of course, you have those skills and want to work within that space. But a simple screen recording will do for this model. So these are going to be due again at the end of the week that you would have done them in class. So one group for the geolocative narratives, those are going to be due at the end of this work week, which is Sunday, for those 3 students. And I will be in touch with you all individually. I will be in touch with you all separately about how that's going to go, and just a reminder about that. Okay, so finally, I've mentioned this a couple of times now, but every week I do want to check in with you all to make sure that things are still kind of working well for you and that you're effectively learning in our online space. And I'm going to do that through Moodle surveys, which, as I said, will go out at the end of every work week. So you can expect those Sunday night, Monday morning to be posted live on Moodle. These are in no way required, but I do hope that you will take the time to respond to them, even if it's just to say, everything's good, we don't need to change anything. It's good for me to know that, everything is working. Okay, so besides policy changes, here's some ways that you can get in touch with me, right? So of course, we're not going to have forced interactions twice a week. So if you need me or just want to chat or clarify anything, you basically have 5 options. They're all different for different things and different for different people, but they'll all work as ways to get in touch with me. So option 1, of course, is email. My email is posted on Moodle. It's also, you can email me through the quick mail block on our Moodle site. That is very consistent, very reliable. I get notifications of Coastal email to my phone. I just want you all to please keep in mind that even though I can receive emails all the time, I can't always respond to them all the time. So if it is urgent and you need like an immediate response, please indicate that prominently in the subject line. Okay, your next way to get in touch with me is through our Microsoft Teams space, which is kind of like a big synchronous chat room. This is again something that I have going to my phone for pings. And here this is especially great for like short form questions or questions that you just want to kind of pose to the class as a whole, but don't want to write like a full paragraph or full kind of email or forum kind of thing, right? This is much more like a text messaging model. Okay, the third way is through our virtual office hours sessions, which for this class will take place Wednesdays from 2 to 4 p.m. via Microsoft Teams video conferencing. So in these sessions, I will send you a link or a notification of a video chat space that you can drop into or not, right? It's totally up to you. I'll be there waiting. So just like regular office hours, but it'll be through video chat, and that'll be real-time communication through these modes. So that's again Wednesday from 2 to 4 p.m. via Microsoft Teams. Okay, your fourth option is individual video chat meetings with me. Those are by request though. So I'm more than happy to do it though. I just need to know that you want that. So please request those via email. And as with anything, it's better the more warning I have to make sure I can accommodate you. So I do ask that you give me like a day's forewarning. But of course, again, the nature of everything, something might be an emergency and you may not have a full day. So if that's the case, just indicate that again in the subject line. And then finally, the forums on Moodle. I get notified anytime there's a forum post. So again, that's another place that you can get in contact with me or pose kind of general questions. One thing to keep in mind is that the forums on Moodle and the Microsoft Teams chat are public spaces, whereas email and of course the individual meeting are private spaces. So if you want to talk to me about like your grades, your performance, your understanding of the technology, whatever else, and you don't want all your peers to know, then those are the options to take, right? So that they're not public. Okay, so with that in mind, we're now going to move over to our new Moodle site where I'm just going to point out a few prominent changes that I've made and articulate how it's organized so you can find everything going forward. Okay, so here is our new Moodle site. There's just a few changes that I want to draw your attention to. A lot of the organizational structure really is the same, just things have gotten a bit more robust to support this as a fully online learning environment. Okay, so first I've updated all of my information as to where you can find me, and then a reminder, this will be updated after this recording, that our week ends on Sundays at midnight. I have also added this kind of online work policy, which walks through everything you need to know about our new shift to online learning and how everything's going to go. This is a sticky block, so because of that, I've also added this content tag, so you don't always have to scroll. You can use this to jump right down to the contents through that anchor tag. So from our contents, you'll notice these are all looking pretty similar to how they were before. As I said, there's just a little bit more going on in some of these blocks. So in the syllabus and schedule block, you'll find your updated schedule right here. This sketches out everything for the whole semester, including policy changes and schedule changes. So I'm not going to redo the policies document. Everything's just going to be right there in that updated schedule document. So you can always refer back to that for anything in terms of like an overview of what's going on and reminders of anything that I've said in this video or otherwise. The forums block is very similar, though I have added the digital culture in the time of COVID-19 forum. I've already contacted you all about this, but you'll find the threads are there for different topics. And this will be kind of our primary general forum for working online. Everything else, announcements, is how I will get in touch with you. And peer-to-peer tech support is where, of course, you'll post those tutorials and where you can request any kind of technology help. Okay, so the weekly modules block is the one that's gotten kind of the most built out. So once again, we're still going to be using these weekly modules book. But now each chapter is not just going to have the stuff you should prepare before coming to class. It's going to be all the class stuff. So if you go to week 10, you'll see that you've got a little kind of about space, just walking you through what all's going on, and then my proposed schedule, an overview of everything that you need to get done within this block of time, so this 1 week. So you've got 2 days of stuff, right? So readings, and then a class day, right? With the reminder that the tool tutorial content is right here. This class day, you will find here in the subchapter called Class Day. There's nothing here yet, but I'll be building out that lecture and additional material over the next couple of days. So you should find that at the latest by the end of the day, Wednesday. Okay, you'll notice as well that all your readings are linked. Everything that you need is going to be linked from this space. So if you don't go anywhere else, you can always come to the weekly modules and find everything that needs to be done. Okay, so of course, things can't be linked from Moodle unless they already exist on Moodle. So you can find readings directly from the readings block and assignments directly from the assignments block. The resources block will just have all general resources for you, including your Twine resources, parsers, and so on. These should be familiar from when we were face-to-face. So additional resources will be added here kind of as we go for each of the remaining tools. I'm also going to add a online learning resources book just to help those of you who have not been online before as like your primary class delivery space. So some of you mentioned in the opening survey that you were not feeling super confident in your abilities to be successful online. So I'll be posting that to help you hopefully gain some confidence and give you some actionable tools and practices that you can take on to be successful in this space. Okay, and then finally, the surveys that, as I mentioned, I'll be using to check in with you every week will all be located in the surveys and feedback block. You can see the 2 that you've already had are there, and that will be populated weekly as we go along. Okay, the final thing that I just want to draw your attention to is the course calendar, which is here. This is nearly entirely up to date with all the remaining required times. So I will send out a quick announcement when it's fully done, at which point you can export it to iCal or Google Calendars or write it down in a paper calendar, whatever you do to keep everything organized and make sure that you know what's coming when, and that you get little notifications for things. Okay, so that gets us through our Moodle tour, and welcome back to the course. We're going to get through these next 6 weeks. And once again, I want to thank you all for your flexibility and your willingness to engage in this kind of new, uncharted territory that we're exploring. Please be in touch with me if anything at all arises, and I will virtually see you soon.